Today, before we start, I'm going to first ask you to relax and close your eyes because what's coming? What's coming soon? The holidays, all 9 of them, all 18 meals, all 70 guests. Okay, so are you nice and relaxed? Because now we can go ahead and make a real simple Dutch apple pie. Perfect for Rosh Hashanah all the way through Sukkot. Hi, thanks for stopping by to watch me, Leah, cook kosher. The Dutch apple pie, one of my favorite things to make since I was a kid because it is so easy, has a single crust on the bottom. It's filled with apples that have cinnamon and sugar, and then we top it with a really wonderful streusel topping, brown sugar, flour, margarine. Okay, it looks like you spent all day in the kitchen, and I bet we can knock this out in about 15 minutes. I have a pre-made crust here. Now, it didn't come from my grocer's freezer. It came from my freezer because I had already made the apple pie the other day. I had leftover crust, and I simply rolled out one more and froze it. You can do that too, and then you're going to be all set to make the simple pie. So once again, we're going to need apples because the fall, Rosh Hashanah, it's all about the apples. These are Granny Smith's, and since we need them peeled and sliced, I'm going to go ahead and use my favorite kitchen tool, all right? No electricity required even. You just simply put the apple on and crank. I use this for everything from apple crown cake to haroset. So you want to be sure to get one of those. All right? There you go. So I'm going to just go ahead, slice it in half, and drop all of these slices into the bowl. And since I need 2 pounds of apples, 5 or 6 apples, I'm just going to go ahead and peel the rest of them. I mean, look at how simple that is. Put it on and crank. In fact, I find it's a lot easier to go fast. And in. And while I may be a professional chef, you can go ahead and try this at home. No one's going to get hurt. Okay, looks like, because I am actually using the scale, see, I have a little bit over 2 pounds of apples. This apple pie is so quick, you know, don't worry about keeping up with me here on the ingredients. Just go to the website, look it up, and you'll find all the ingredients there and the step-by-step instructions, okay? My apples are all peeled in the bowl, and I want to go ahead and just squirt some lemon juice over them so they don't turn brown. Lemon juice all over myself too, apparently. Give it a little bit of a toss. And here's where we just add our sugar, a little bit of flour, and the flour thickens the apples while they're baking, some cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. So go ahead and just stir those up until the apples are well coated. So I'm going to set those aside, and we are going to make the crumb topping. Simple, simple. Flour, brown sugar, and then we have some margarine here. I use margarine because most of the meals for the holidays, a lot of them are meat or chicken, and so we can't have dairy desserts with that meal. That said, you can make it dairy and then you can't offer it to anybody, and you have a great breakfast. That's what I like, apple pie for breakfast. And just scrape it off every now and then. I don't want to use this cutter as a spoon. I'm actually trying to use all those blades and just keep cutting that in. We want a nice crumble to put on top of our pie. All right. Some margarines are more firm than others. This one's a little soft. So I'm going to use my fingertips to just rub that in. I want to really get a crumb going there. If you like, you can also add a little bit of oatmeal to this, and then it sort of gives you an apple crisp pie. Anything to justify apple pie for breakfast. Okay, that's looking good. We have our pre-made pie shell, and I'm going to take my apples and I'm going to work them into the crust. I like to get the round edges up against the side there so I can really pack as many apples into this shell as I can. And of course, anything left over, I am just going to nibble on. Now the apples shrink as they cook, so I like to mound my pie really high. Just evenly arrange those. All right, that looks great. And scrape all of that cinnamon and sugar in there. That was simply apples tossed with sugar and flour, cinnamon, salt, and now we're going to put our topping on there. I like to bake my apple pies on a parchment lined baking sheet because they do tend to run over the edge, and then you have a kind of a sticky, gooey mess to clean up after those sugars have all cooked. Just get a nice even mound on there. Every last bit of that's going on. How beautiful is that? I didn't hear you. How beautiful is that? It's gorgeous. Easy, quick, going into the oven, 400 degrees for about 40 minutes. You'll have time for a cup of tea before those guests start showing up. Okay, let's check on this. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm going to give this a little poke with the knife. I'm getting a little resistance towards the middle, but by the time that cools, it's going to be nice and tender. I did have a tent on this during the baking because it was in there almost an hour. And tenting it helped keep it from getting too brown. And also, you can see why baking on a cookie sheet has really helped prevent all of this from being in the bottom of your oven. Store-bought crust, homemade crust, it doesn't much matter when you can fill it and have it look this beautiful. And it is so simple.